I grew up in Rabbit Island, which is like in the bush basically. As a kid, I was never allowed to say I was bored. So even if I said I was bored, my parents would kick me outside, and sometimes they'd keep me out there till the sun went down.
To me, when I was a child, it was like a magical world, you know. Like I never wanted to leave my hometown because I have a lot of friends there and a lot of people that care for me.
I was born in Iqaluit, Nunavut, but my mom and her family grew up in Apex, which is just off to the side. And we moved down when I was around 1. We moved to Nova Scotia because my mom knew that because I wasn't 100% Inuit, that I was going to get bullied and I was going to have to go through all this bad childhood. So she moved us away so that me and my brothers, who were only a quarter, wouldn't get bullied.
My grandparents' house is where I spent most of my childhood. I grew up with my grandmother most of the time. And then when she passed away, I stuck around my uncles a lot and we just went for walks. That's basically my whole childhood right there. It's just going for walks, talking, spending time with my cousins and stuff like that. But the majority of my childhood was spent outside, definitely.
I'm glad my mom took me and my brothers away, because to imagine the lifehood up there and being bullied, like, would you not just become another gang member? If you're always bullied, you'd only know how to bully. So it is a very common thing for people to move down with their children, especially if they're not 100%, just to get them away from what it could be like in 10 years from now. So they're not another gangster, they're not someone who's not culturally active. So there's more Inuit in Ottawa than there is in Iqaluit. There's more Inuit in Ottawa than all of Nunavut. So.
Also, what makes my childhood a little different is that I grew up a powwow baby. So that means I grew up the traditional way of life, meaning my parents kept me close to the culture. Ever since right till I was 12 years old, I was on the powwow trail dancing and singing and learning the teachings and stuff. So I traveled around the States and mostly in Canada up until the age of 12, and that's when my parents decided that my education was more important than actually what the culture was.
Me, I was in awe when I first came here because I never seen such things, like very little things. I was so amazed, you know, like limos, like how fast the taxi drove, and I was very amazed on how the city life and seeing a lot of homeless people. That I really don't like. I mean, like, I never really seen homeless people, but I just kind of hate it.
Busy, very busy. I wasn't used to it. Actually, my first time living in Ottawa was last year when I first moved here, and honestly, I didn't do anything at all. I didn't know my way around the city. I didn't know anyone. My parents basically just dropped me off here and left.
You know, a big step to go from, oh, we're gonna go for a walk and a hike and, you know, go play with some horses, to, all right, we're in the city and we're gonna take a bus. And then you're around all these people and they're not talking to each other, and it's just, nobody really knows. It was a very big thing to go from a very homey, close-knit community to this huge place where almost nobody knows anybody and nobody really talks to you, and it was scary. It was actually very scary. But here I am 4 years later, and I actually have so many friends around the college and in the area, so you have to just learn to be the person who goes and says, like, hey, good afternoon, and everyone starts talking to you, so you just bring your country with you.
To me, it was kind of a big experience because I live in a small community, and going to Canada's capital is just pretty wild, you know. I never thought that I'd go this far because I never even thought that I would get accepted to college. So yeah, it's a pretty big experience for me.
I called home last night, and actually the sound that I miss is laughter. The only thing one laughter in particular stood out was my Uncle Glenn's laughter. And I cried for a good 20 minutes last night because I was homesick.